You're now listening to the Garage Guys Fantasy Sports Podcast.
Garage fam, welcome back to another episode of Garage Guys NASCAR podcast. You see him right there. It's Cody FN Powers.
It's your boy.
House.
He's back.
It me, Garage Guy Chase, and you've seen me in a rare occasion these days. I'm in the stew. I'm home.
Are you cooking it up in the stew?
I don't know, but there is a guy that we're going to talk about on this episode that was cooking up some things in his body and also racing cars at one point in time. If for the true Garage fam out there that watched the episode with me and Cody last time, we did something called NASPIRICIES, which was a segment that we said we were going to do every time that Cody was on the show. So we're going to keep that promise, and we're following that up with our NASPIRICIES segment towards the end after we recap the Go Bowling at the Glen road course race at Watkins Glen International. And this NASPIRICIES segment is going to be on the one and only hyped up at all times Jeremy Mayfield.
The man, the myth, the legend.
The man, the meth, the legend. Jeremy Mayfield. It's gonna be a fun time. All respect to Jeremy Mayfield's car, because he drove the 10 car or the 12 car at one time that Ryan Newman eventually took over. It had Pegasus on it. I think what kind of brought this up was the fact that Bacon Boy Eric Amarola will be driving the Mobil 1 car this weekend. I don't think he's worthy of it, but it just sparked it up, and I was like, Cody's coming, sparked it up, get it? So
we're on a roll here.
We're on a roll, man.
You're really crushing them.
Yeah, we're crushing them down, just it's a real toot. So we're gonna talk about Jeremy Mayfield and a conspiracy of like what may have happened to him, the real story. We're gonna give you the real scoop.
The only way Mayfield.
The only way Garage Guys can do it. The real Mayfield. Jeremy Mayfield. I'm sorry, I gotta stop. So I swear to God, I feel like he's one of those guys that would probably stumble. He probably searches his name on YouTube a lot, and I do hope this finds him well, because he is going to hate us. And
he'll love me by the end of it.
Maybe so. Maybe we'll come back. I remember a little bit about him. So, I mean, you're going to be kind of running through. I've done my research on the good old internet. Everything we read is true on Wikipedia. It's not like anyone can just.
I cannot edit on Wikipedia.
Really?
And that may or may not be because I'm banned from editing on Wikipedia.
You're banned from editing on Wikipedia?
Oh, no. Jury's still out.
Dude, I want to just get an account. I want to troll Wikipedia account and just put a lot of fake facts and see how long. Dude,
I love it when something big happens in the world and people go on and immediately just edit their Wikipedia pages. Yeah, I love it.
It's great. So since Cody can't do that, and I don't even know where to begin, we're going to do it here on this episode. So be sure to stick around after the recap to hear the NASPIRICIE on Jeremy Mayfield. But let's go ahead and get into what really matters here, which is one of the most amazing races this year for the Garage fam when it comes to DraftKings, FanDuel, and sports betting. Dude, it was an incredible week. We're just coming off of a 2-week NASCAR hiatus, the summer break. I think it's I want to say this is the first time NASCAR's had 2 weeks off since the 70s. So it's been a very long time. And I know anytime I'm away from things for 2 weeks at a time, I don't know what the fuck to do with life. I mean, we were off 2 weeks on this tour that we've been on, and I was like, I need to go back to a race.
You know what I did on Sunday?
What have you been doing?
I watched an old race. It's just the week one, I was like, man, this is nice. It's a vacation, right? Doing
We had Kyle
podcasts and
Busch to
stuff.
help, you know.
Right, yeah, yeah. He kept us all entertained. But man, I'll tell you, by the time week two rolled around, I was genuinely lost. Like I was standing in the yard watering the trees.
Just watering trees.
Yeah, watering trees.
That's a good
Like,
thing.
man, I'm
Shout out
gonna
to
sit
trees.
down. I'm gonna pretend that NASCAR is coming on. I listened to like old radio broadcasts of NASCAR races. I pretended that it wasn't 2021. I pretended it was like 1987.
Yeah. You went outside, you got the jorts on. You did it. I
Mowed
mean,
the
we do
yard.
that. Yeah, we do that like every Sunday anyway. It's always 1987 when the garage guys are around. But yeah, it was a weird 2-week period, man. We were, for the start of the race coming back, we were in Rock Hill, South Carolina at the ACL World Championship for cornhole, and that was an amazing experience. We did the preview show for Watkins Glen there. We actually got to link up with one of our subs for Garage Fam, BB23. Shout out to Bradley fucking Bags. He was on the preview show with us for the Glen, and he was talking about how he won $10,000 using Dale's truck picks, free truck picks. And so he came on, talked about that. And then this whole week, like just getting back into it, we were like really like heavy on promoting premium. And by the way, if you're watching this, you haven't got premium, go to garageguysfantasysports.com and get that shit, because we just had another example this past week at the Glen. Our free picks were number one in the industry this week. And we are now ranked third out for the entire season in the entire fantasy NASCAR industry.
This is where you need to have like an applause track where you just push a button and the crowd just erupts. Because
Yeah.
I think that is something to definitely brag and be proud of.
Like, I just want to like Photoshop Oprah where she gave away cars, but it's like, you get a bag, you get a bag, you get a, like, we got the fucking bag.
So let me ask. I gotta ask. Speaking of Bradley, he got the 10K bag. At what point, like, what is your limit as a man to where you're not gonna even speak on your winnings? Is there, if you were to win $5 million, are you tweeting about it, or are you gonna stay humble and quiet? Where is that line for you where you don't talk about your bag?
Well, for one, if I win $5 million, it's definitely going to be on like a 30-leg parlay in the casino, because I don't think you can win that much on DraftKings. But I mean, dude, I don't have a limit. I don't have a limit at all. I mean, I literally, like this week, I mean, I think I played like $60 and I turned it into like almost 300. And that's a good fucking Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. Because like the picks were there. But it's like, if I would have had the lineups that I had in like some of the high roller contests, like, oh my God, like I would have easily won over $1,000. And we had multiple premium subs win over $1,000. Shout out to Choose V. We got
big day for him.
Yeah, huge. I think that's his biggest bag he ever got. It was like over 3K. Just had the perfect lineup, dude. I think he had Larson, he had Elliott, he had Briscoe, he had LaJoy and Austin Dillon, and then Chris Bell. That was the line. I think that was like the big line. And I think that like the tourney line, the huge one, like I think it was Reddick, Dillon, Bell, Larson, Briscoe, and Elliott, maybe. I can't really think 100%, but I know it had both the RCR guys. So it was just a really, like, we nailed it. We nailed the show. The free picks were nailed. We all had some different ideas. We compromised and we did the free picks. That's kind of like the free picks are the one, it's the article that I write, but it's usually a compilation of like my head, Dale's head, and Drew's head. So it was beautiful, man. And like it just goes to show that like when you put a lot of time and energy into something and like you love what you do, like we kind of just spoke it into existence, because we were like, we're gonna win big, we're gonna do it big, and we're gonna do it at the Glen. We're gonna do it on road. You know what I mean? We got to do it on road.
Do it on road.
We're back on road. We got to do it on road. We got bag on road, not back on road, bag on road.
Now. Do you enjoy getting bags on the road more than bags on the oval?
I just enjoy getting bags in NASCAR.
Okay.
Any
bag you can get, you take.
Yeah, like before we get like, all, kind of serious / goofy, like I'm just going to be straight serious about it. Like the most rewarding thing about what we do is the fact that every week almost we're getting new people joining the Discord. And whenever I see that message of someone that's like, man, I only play baseball and football, and now I'm in the NASCAR, and the next thing you know, they're picking a favorite driver and they're wanting to get tickets. Like, we're bringing people to the sport, man. Like, that's what matters at the end of the day. Like, that's why this went from being the Garage Guys Fantasy Sports Podcast to the Garage Guys NASCAR Podcast, because it's like, Garage Guys are NASCAR. We've always been NASCAR, and we didn't even know we've always been NASCAR, because but back when we were strictly fantasy football back in the 2017 2018, we were Garage Guys Fantasy Sports. And I remember talking to people and they were like, that's like the name just sounds like something has to do with racing. And I'm like, damn, you're right. Like, and then it happened.
You foreshadowed yourself and didn't even realize it.
Yeah, man. It's wild, but it's just rewarding as shit, dude. And it's gonna keep coming. It's going to keep coming. You yourself, you're a sucker for some DK now,
Yeah. I, in the same path as you, always football. And then this year alone, got heavy into it with NASCAR, which I was already a NASCAR fan, but I'd never put it together that you could bet on NASCAR. Right. And NASCAR, it's not only is it, I would say, one of the better odds of getting a bag compared to other sports, but it's more fun. Odds. Yeah, but it's way more fun than other sports.
It's just exhilarating because everything can change in a second.
All it takes is one. Yeah, because I mean, you can bet on, throw in the chalky guys when it comes to football, and you're gonna at least do decent. In NASCAR, you can pull a Josh Bilicki, and if he has a good day and he had low draft odds or draft percentage, you're killing it. Just off of a Bilicki with an extra 20 points.
A Bilicki. The first time I ever heard Josh Bilicki talk, I was startled. He did not sound the way he looked.
No, not at all. None of the Rick Ware guys do. You never really expect that Australian accent to come out of James Davison.
Right. And it's like the name you would think, if you check out Wikipedia pages like we did for Jeremy Mayfield, you would see that he was from Australia. Not Jeremy, but James. And he never did any drugs. He's a great guy. We don't know. We don't know what he did. Possibly could maybe what kind of drugs are there in Australia to do?
I think Australia is big into MDMA stuff.
Yeah, they're big Molly people. They like festivals. It's what is the fine in Australia for giving a kangaroo Molly? What happens to that?
There's a law in place for it because it's definitely happened before.
I feel like they move weight with crocodiles instead of cars and cargo ships. They just put big bricks of cocaine in crocodile
stuff
mouths.
It into the alligator.
They just know where to go.
Is it an alligator down there or is it a crocodile?
It's a
crocodile. Yeah.
It's a crocodile.
Crikeys. It's a croc. Yep.
Yeah, crikey, a croc, mate. Oh, shout out to Steve Irwin.
Man. Gone way too soon.
It made me hate stingrays.
Oh, bro! If I ever see one, I'm punching it on site.
Yeah. I mean, dude, Tampa Bay, they had to change their name to the Rays because of that.
They're stabbing the league right now. I'll tell you that.
They are. Back to NASCAR. Yeah, but we also had Larson plus 400. He won the race. Shout out to the kid, Kyle Larson.
Can I say it?
Say it.
Kyle was out there road dogging.
He was road dogging. He road dogged the shit out of the Glen.
He did.
And anytime you can road dog the Glen, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's 2 road course wins for Kyle Larson, bro.
Right. A guy who has not historically been the guy. He's not always been a road dog.
He was sliding the fuck around early on that race, dude.
He was.
They got that car tightened up, and it changed the game. I don't know.
Larson's changed the road course game entirely. Because we had one guy who was the road course guy, the real road dog in NASCAR. He's like the road pup right now, though.
Yeah, I think that Chase Elliott is still 100% a road dog. He is dude, for him to do what he did, bro, that was.
Oh yeah, he passed the entire field twice.
Chase Elliott was Ricky Rudd, Jeff Gordon, and Tony Stewart all combined. He just couldn't close. If that race would have been 4 more laps, bro.
Man, Elliott, he shedded a 10-second lead in the matter of 20 laps.
is insane. I remember I didn't get to watch the majority of the race, but I was in the airport getting a rental car to go back home. And I remember looking at my app and I kept refreshing it just to see, like, I watched him, like, I didn't watch it happen, but like numerically, I watched him just catch Truex and then pass him in third. Definitely got to look into that, because I mean, it's just that he's got like a NOS button. He had a NOS button in that car. Had to.
He had an illegal back window to start the race.
So he was penalized. He was penalized. He was supposed to start 11th. Chris Bell was also penalized, but he was also another one that did really well. Like Chris Bell I think he shedded a little bit. Like I did not think that he would be the road course racer that he is, like, especially after he won, when he won at the Daytona road course. And then he comes in and almost wins Road America, which would have been incredible of it for a day for Dale.
Oh yeah.
We had him at plus 2,000. So $100 would have been $2,000.
Yeah. I had money on him that day too, because
dude, just road dogs everywhere. That was where Larson had a lot of bad luck. Larson fucked up.
Yeah.
He skirted on that.
Well, the local meteorologist screwed him over that day too.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think he's one of the only guys that cares about the weather so much. Like there's a lot of Kyles out there. There is a Kyle Weatherman. So it's like maybe he calls Kyle Weatherman, because like I feel like Kyle definitely talks to people. Like I know he talks to us. He talks to his crew chiefs. He talks to a lot of cool people, like a lot of C people. Like if your name starts with a C, he's going to talk to you. Like Cliff, Chase, his teammates Chase. And if it starts with a K, if he's another Kyle, he'll probably fuck with you. So Kyle Weatherman, does he tell Kyle Larson the weather? Probably.
100%. Yeah. Well, and he's wanting in with Hendrick as he moves up. You know, I mean,
very true. It's like you know that Kyle Weatherman. That's really all I can say about him. That guy, Kyle Weatherman.
Yep, good racer,
big monster guy, likes to punch drywall, but not Kyle Larson. He likes to win in road dog. So you have that aspect of it for one. But yeah, with Chris Bell, dude, like you look at the lineups that we had, I think like it's only fair that we talk about the one guy that has been good on road that is not good on road. And we just talked about him because Chase Elliott passed him. He was the last person Chase Elliott passed, and that's Martin Truex Jr. Do you care to comment on maybe what is going on with MTJ and why is he running on empty at road courses as of late?
I think we kind of brushed up on it in a personal conversation. I think that he might be fizzling out overall. And when I say that, he did make that comment earlier in the year that if he doesn't have fun next season, he's done. So is he just not having fun, or did the Cole Custer Coda wreck like maybe mess with him a little bit?
See, that's where I'm at. So like, I'm not saying that by any means Martin Truex isn't a good road course racer. I mean, he held his own. He finished third. I think he finished second in Sonoma. Mm-hmm. So I mean, he's just not being able to close the gap. And it does seem like ever since, like he won 3 races this year. He won Phoenix. And then he won, what was it? Darlington. And then he won at
Martinsville.
Yep, Martin, because Martin is for Martinsville. So when you look at that, right there off the bat, that's 3 tracks that are decently short. Phoenix isn't a short track.
And they're round, noticeably round.
Very round. I mean, Martin has always been like the Sonoma king. Like he's drank a lot of wine in Sonoma. But it's like it's maybe like now that he's been doing so good on short tracks, it's like, what if he is one of those one track minded, no pun intended, one track minded guys where it's like, okay, I was good at road. Now I'm going to be okay at road and like still good at road, but just won't win at road. Can't close gap at road. But now I'm going to be great at short tracks because I've sucked at them my entire career. And now that I'm good at them, it's like the Space Jam ball. He got good at short tracks and then it sucked all of his road power away. and then Chase Elliott took it, and now Kyle got in the same room, and he was like, give it to me.
I think Truex is interesting anyway. His entire career has been just a total anomaly in NASCAR. You're talking a guy who did not have any success for the first 10 years of his career. Well, I'll say 8 years.
He won a championship with like a fucking shit team, but that wasn't shit. But like you always expect like the Joe Gibbs and the Hendricks of the world to win championships. Furniture Row Racing. Like I think the last time something like that has happened was like definitely early 2000s or maybe 90s and 80s. Like that was back when there were different teams.
I would say the last smaller team, if my memory is serving me right, the last smaller team that would have won would have been Kawicki.
Yeah. Well, what was
I could be incredibly wrong.
That was 92, bro.
Yep.
Shout out to Hooters. Shout out to him.
Fancy stuff.
Yeah. So
I don't know. Truex is just really interesting. I think he is like almost a chameleon of a driver. Like he can morph into whoever and whatever he needs to be. But I genuinely think that Truex isn't having a lot of fun right now. And I think he's the kind of guy who doesn't give a whole lot. He's 100% without a little bit of fun.
Yeah, he's definitely the guy that would like when he's hanging out with his friends, he was like, I don't give a fuck. But like when he's on the move, he's like, I don't give a hoot. I don't give a hoot. I don't give a gosh darn about that. Like I'm Martin Truex.
And we need a little bit more of the not giving a fuck Truex.
Yeah, you don't see that a lot. Like I pray for angry Kevin Harvick almost every day of my life, but those days are gone. Keelan took that away from us.
They did.
Thanks, Keelan. Appreciate it, kid. He took away mean old dad. Because Harvick was a hoss, dude. He didn't play around.
He was a hoss.
I think it's definitely still in him. We should have to figure it out. Like figure out how to get that out.
Someone's got to like awaken it.
He can't talk no shit this year. He ain't got nothing in him. Bro, he's drained. He
hasn't had a good reason to yet.
He's around. He's just hanging 10. He's hanging literally like close to 10 almost every race. He's hanging 10. Speaking of the guy, your boy Tyler Reddick, Red Dog, he finished 10th in this one. That was he didn't move up a ton, but like him getting a top 10, his road course ability definitely is there. I feel like,
man, it came out of nowhere too.
Yeah, dude, he qualified first at Coda.
Yep.
And then it just it's like he got there and he was like, yeah, but then it was just like he's a dog, but he's Red Dog, not Road Dog. He's still got a little bit of time left, but like I feel like if he starts more in the back, he's gonna be able to make his way. But in 9th, I think that we have to definitely talk about Chase Briscoe. He was another one of our picks that we had, and he started in P27 and an SHR car, which we all know SHR has been dog shit. So probably a dog shit car and moved from 27th to 9th. Yeah, if he would have been racing with Hendrick or Joe Gibbs, it's like, oh, he's got speed. That's cool. Like, you know, Chris Bell, he definitely finished up there. He had speed. He had a ton of it. This says so much about Briscoe. And I've been saying it for a while. Like ever since he won the Indy Road Course, the Xfinity race last year, I think it was it was called the Verizon 200 too, which we will be there this weekend. It's gonna be pretty fun. Got some cool content planned. But he is just, dude, it's insane. Like, and I think that with time, like once SHR we go to this new car next year, I think that Briscoe can definitely take that lead and we'll finally see the 14 back where it needs to be, back when old Uncle Tony had it. So
if you would have asked me 8 months ago how I thought Briscoe would be doing at this point in the season, I would have said he would have been secured within the playoffs and locked well within the top 10. I expected Briscoe to come in just swinging, and he's not had the success I think many people anticipated him having. But SHR as a whole hasn't had the success that many people saw them having.
You can't say they don't have a win. I mean, I think that win was shitty.
They got 3 wins.
Yeah.
The duel.
That's not
the All-Star Open.
Okay, let's talk about it. You're talking about Bacon Boy. You've been bragging on Bacon Boy a bit. I want to know what the garage fan think. Like, do the duels in the All-Star races like count? Like, I mean,
please answer this. Please answer this.
Does that really count? I don't think it really counts.
I'm voting yes. So I'll be the first to go on and tally me for yes.
So Cody, I'm talking to Cody earlier, and we're talking about Eric Amarola running the Mobile One paint scheme. That's how we get, because don't forget our NASPIRICIES segment is coming, promise. But we got to talking about Bacon Boy. He's like, oh, he's got 3 wins. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, oh, he won a duel. I was like, yeah. So in my mind, I'm looking at it like this, like, okay, a duel and the All-Star, what was it, the Open?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you win those races, my analogy was like, I almost feel like he gets put into a lower bracket. So it's like, that is literally like, a 30-year-old man playing in a lobby, like a 30-year-old man that's played Call of Duty for like 10 years of his life, going into a lobby filled with 10-year-olds who just got the game last week because they finally fooled their mothers into purchasing that game for them. That's what I feel like winning those races are. Because just the experience level alone, I don't know.
I just feel like that's incredibly disrespectful.
Kind
I
of.
think you just but every other big driver's in the duel too, though.
Okay, so Duel 2, maybe. All-Star Open. Let's name. I mean, there's definitely some guys in there that are like young.
So I think Almirola, he won like the final stage, right? Like
we were there. We were at that.
Yeah, I don't remember like the level, because I know each guy who won a stage moved on automatically.
Okay,
so I think Almirola is the one who like won the race. Like I think he's the one who took the checker
Reddick
flag.
won the first one.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely dominated it.
So like Tyler Reddick is just the killer at Texas.
Who won the second stage? Man, that feels like that was years ago.
Dude, it does, doesn't it? It's weird how time works. So like, I don't know, like I just feel like if you're a guy that's been in NASCAR for a while, like if Almirola was really good, like bro, like you would have won that the first time. You know what I mean? Like you didn't know. Tyler Reddick did, and Tyler Reddick's younger than you, and he's newer in the Cup Series. He's a dog, and he's not a Bacon Boy. So,
okay, you know what? Bacon Boy
we were
has
all
one
talking
win.
about how we're getting ready to like kick Eric Amarola out. Like everybody,
I still am.
For
the record, I still am.
Like everybody was talking about how Haley Deegan was about to become Danica Jr. and go to the 10. Like, and now he won at New Hampshire because God made it dark outside, and
we blow off the stat line and we see that Eric won 2 races already before
Chris
New Hampshire.
Bell was about to win that bitch.
Oh yeah, 1,000,000%,
dude. If that race would have went like 5 more laps, bro, Chris Bell would have took that shit. But they were like, oh no, call it now because there's this guy that's up here hasn't won in fucking ages. Like, that's his first win.
NASPIRICIES is at the end of the show.
That's his first like regular season cup race in the series that he's won other than a super speedway. You know,
you're not wrong.
I don't know.
You're right.
He doesn't. I think.
I'm glad you clarified though and said regular series or regular season, because I was going to come at you with Texas.
Yeah, I know, with that Duel 2, Duel 2 part 2, Open, whatever. He doesn't need to be driving the 10. Like Mobile One should have gave that to Briscoe. Like
Smithfield, bro. Smithfield. I want to know how much Smithfield pumps into SHR.
Dude, probably
it's got to be a substantial
enough
amount.
to where they're like, we're fucking done with this guy. Like, who is this guy? Why is he still here? There's pictures of him like with spiky hair from the early 2000s. What is he doing, bro?
Well, I think he is Bacon Boy though. I think if he leaves, I think Smithfield goes.
Dude, they followed him from Richard Petty Motorsports, didn't they?
Yeah.
So yeah, I know. I think this just comes more from my anger for one. Like he has a very just like goofy face, and like he hangs out with Riley Herbst, and like I don't know if you saw that picture that I put on the Garage Guys like nerd car. Like who are these fucking guys? Like I don't know, man. Like he just has this face. Like you just want to just like fuck you. You just want to tap it a little bit. Like,
oh, you don't even want to punch it. You want to just like,
you don't want to punch it. You just want to kind of just like pop it a little bit. Just like, what the fuck are you doing out here? Like, what are you doing out here?
Grab him by the cheek.
It's like, it's 7 o'clock. Like, I just feel like that's how hey, that's kind of how he talks. I don't know. He's never done anything to me personally, but he's always.
It does not sound it at all.
He's just really nice, and like I don't know, like he's just one of those guys. It's like he's so just dry. He's forgettable, and then like, it's like I think that maybe if he did a little more content, like or whatever, like he'd be okay. Like if he
Well, so here's something that I've actually noticed. If we want to stay on the Eric topic for a second, for his personal YouTube channel, he's paying to promote it because it is an ad on every video I watch, like under the video.
what?
And it says like ad and promote it. And it's like, yeah, in the thumbnail, it's like him celebrating the victory lane. And it's, I won at New Hampshire. And like the first time I saw it, had like 13,000 views. And I saw it again yesterday and it's up to like 50,000 views.
What do the comments say? Like that's what we can't. I don't want to spend this much time on fucking Eric Amarola on this show. Like this is the longest I think we've ever talked about him.
I think this is the longest that probably anybody has ever talked about Eric Amarola.
Like actually, guys, like JK, Eric Amarola is paying us with his paid promotion money right now to talk about him on Garage Guys. Just had to let you guys know that as a disclaimer. He took all of his New Hampshire winnings to promote that he won a race that was not a super speedway, and it has ended up here now on Garage Guys. That's why we're talking about Eric Amarola so long.
To summarize the comments though, real quick, it is all nothing but big support.
Big, I bet, because it's like anytime like a loser does something really fucking cool, like everybody's like, "Yeah, you did it." Yeah, it's like,
if I were to go out and like medal at the Olympics, if I got a bronze, if I'm even in the Olympics, right, in like track and field, I'm gonna get like pats on the back. They're gonna be like, "Look at that little short chubby kid."
that
out
motherfucker
there.
won because the moon came up, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, dude, the moon gave Eric Amarola a win. Like, the moon. Moon.
It was the moon. He's a moon child.
Moon boy. moon guy. Eric
Here's
Amarola.
a serious, instead of gluing a penny to his dash, what if he glued a crystal of some sort? And when the moon came up, it supercharged his car. And that's why, boom.
There probably is a crystal
Predicted.
in that car that Danica left, you know, and she gets really big. She's really big into crystal energy.
Is she? I get those vibes off of her, actually.
Dude, she's really big into that. And I don't, you know what? I don't joke around with that. You know that. You know I'm a big manifest your life motherfucker. I'd be like, you know, I'd be hanging out with some sapphires and some fucking
I was being sincere with it instead of a lucky penny.
I know. No, dude, Eric Amarola is definitely like Holy Bible over crystal guy. Like 100%. You know, like he's got a couple of pages like, but like he's like so innocent that like he ripped out some pages of the Bible and taped them on his dash, not knowing that like that was like terrible thing to do to deface.
I feel like there was a driver who used to actually do that.
Probably. It's like, what do you do when you get to heaven and God's like, you remember that time you ripped out pages of like my book? Like, it's like when you die, if you just have a crystal hanging out, like whatever the energy man up there is gonna be like, good job. Like, who knows? Now, welcome to the Garage Guys Religion Podcast.
So featuring Eric Almirola.
Like, I don't know. All right, we spent way too much time on Eric Almirola. Let's roll on. I mean, but moral of the story: Chase Briscoe should have the Mobile One paint scheme on that 14 because he's going to be flying in Indy this week. I don't care what anybody says. Be on the lookout for those odds. I'm just going to throw a little nugget there. But moving forward from there, I think one thing that we definitely have to talk about, I want to give, this is going to be a new thing that we do. Shout out to the Shitty Driver of the Week. That's right. Shitty Coolers. Shout out to Shitty Coolers. One of our newer sponsors. We're going to be going to this race in Indy this weekend and in Michigan. And Shitty is making it happen. And right now, if you get over to shittycoolers.com or wildlyweakcoolers.com and use promo code GarageGuys, you're going to save 15% on your order. So get over to shittycoolers.com right now. It's a fucking party. It's a vibe. If you saw us on tour over the summer with Inside Tailgating, you saw the Shitty 10 around Racetrack Rob. We're going to be doing it up big time in Indy and Michigan over the next 2 weeks.
I have a Shitty hat hanging right back there.
There you go. It's a lifestyle, bro. It's Shitty Coolers, SHITI Shitty Coolers. And again, that's shittycoolers.com, promo code Garage Guys, save 15% on any order when you order online. So do that. Shitty driver of the week goes to Brad Keselowski. We could give it to Penske as a whole across multiple racing series. Dale actually made a really funny meme that was the SpongeBob. Want to see me do it again?
And it popped off on TikTok.
Dude, we were driving home. We were driving home from Rock Hill, and he's over in the passenger seat, and he's like piecing it together. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Bro," he's like, "Dude, just wait, just wait. You see this?" And we got to talk a little bit, and we discussed some stuff with it, and then the final product came out, and dude, I just was laughing my ass off. And then bam, next morning you wake up and you're seeing every Penske driver's face, all the wrecks. It was just funny. And then right there at the end, if you haven't watched it yet, I'm not going to spoil what's at the end, but it's fucking funny. And
where could anybody find that video?
You can find that by following Dale fucking Tanhart. So he's not here tonight. He's resting up because he's driving our ass to Indy tomorrow, because I'm going to be up processing show and putting show up online. So it's going to be a late night for the garage guy. So his ass, like, by the time you're all watching this, we're actually like on the road right now, and I'm asleep. So don't text me or
sleep good.
Actually, tweet me a lot and wake me. I need a wake up call, Garage Fam. So if you made it this far into the show, I need you to tweet at me and be like, "Wake the fuck up!" Like, I know you're sleeping in that car.
What time?
Driving. I need a wake up tweet. Probably give me a wake up tweet around 1 p.m. on Friday. No, it's whoa, my brain is gone. I need a wake up tweet on Friday. There I go again. Wednesday. I need a wake up tweet on Wednesday, August the 11th at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. So wake up tweets. Just say, "Hey, wake up now. I know Dale's driving. Just wake up." So
and that'll wake you up.
But yeah, you can follow him at Dale Tanhart to find that meme like everywhere. I think he's on TikTok and Instagram, the world. Just follow Dale Tanhart. Google Dale Tanhart, and you'll see Dale Tanhart. Watch ESPN2, and you'll see Dale Tanhart. We were on ESPN at the Rock Hill.
Now, you also were smelling some soaps on ESPN yourself? I thought you said okay. Yeah,
we garage guy, but no, they zoomed in on that boy. But you can see that smile on it. But he knew it was up. Love you, Dale. But yeah, he made a funny meme about it. But yeah, the shitty driver of the week is Brad. Dude, he does not give a fuck anymore. That dude was like a 7-year-old child when he just reached 42 inches at a go-kart track. He didn't care. It was just hammered down, go. I don't care if I spin. I don't care if I hit you. I'm just on road. Like, dude,
he was on and off road.
Dude, he was just jumping turtles off the fucking world, dude. He wrecked Joey Logano. Like, dude, he got into his own teammate, bro. And Joey
said his brakes were out, but I think he just wasn't using his brakes.
I think Penske has a braking problem. I think
Penske they genuinely do.
They have a braking problem at road courses. I mean, like, you remember the road course, Daytona road course, Joey was up front, just braking way too much. And then Chris Bell took the win. And then, like, now they were braking way too little at Watkins Glen. And Joey was doing decent in the beginning. Like, I mean, if he's up top and he's able to stick it out, but then he finished, what, 22nd, 22 for the 22?
Yeah.
Penske sucked, dude. And we called that in some of our writing and stuff like that. Drew did as well. And we discussed it a little bit. Like, I just did not feel good about Penske being 1, 2, 3 at that race. And we trusted the gut. I think the top finisher for Penske was Blaney in P14. So yeah, they've got to do some serious work on their road program. And I mean, they got Cindric coming in next year. So him jumping in the 2, I don't think that we'll see the same kind of driving of the 2 as Brad, but it's only fitting that the first shitty driver on the Garage Guys NASCAR podcast is a guy from Michigan, which is also where Shitty Coolers was founded, in Michigan. So shout out to you, Brad, for the shitty driver of the week. Congrats.
You need a jingle for that.
Yeah, just shitty driver of the week.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
All right, I'm gonna clip that and I'm gonna put like an explosion and an eagle, like just, like that eagle off that one shitty ad that I did with the Roman candles. Yeah, that's what we'll do. So yeah, that was shitty driver of the week, but Penske sucked as a whole. It was just terrible. Is there anybody else that we need to mention before we get into NASPIRICIES? Maybe like some quick mentions. Shout out to Kyle Busch for running up top, starting 20th.
Kyle is trending very well for the rest of the season. Very, very well.
Kyle was a good play. I mean, he wasn't in the winning lineup, but he was definitely a good pick. Like I had him in premium picks, just didn't shake out that way. But I knew that Kyle was going to get some pot. I mean, he was the most expensive guy on the board, obviously, but we all knew he was going to move.
Ross Chastain is another honorable mention, I believe. Got a big deal.
12th. Yeah. By the way, Psycho Parlay. If you're not playing the Psycho Parlays like that I give out, like it makes me so upset that I gave a free pick out this week. Dale and I were doing a grudge match, and obviously, you know, Dale's the truck king. He's good at NASCAR betting. He's up like 60 plus units. You got to give the man his respect there. I mean, he's really good at bet. He bets a shit ton, but he's up big units across all series. And he was really bullish on Chastain over Reddick, which did not happen. But we did a grudge match parlay. I beat him, and it's not even about beating him. It's the fact that we put that out there, and I don't know how many people actually bet it, but like some people were like taking some of his for a parlay and some of mine. Don't do that. You either pick my parlay or you pick Dale's parlay, and then you go with it, because my parlay hit could have won someone plus 700 other than myself. So there's that. So Psycho Parlay hits again, strikes again. Last one was at Dover. And so anytime I come out with the Psycho Parlay, I mean, it's hit this year. So
do you think anybody else betting on Sunday had that same parlay?
I hope. Plus 700. I mean, it wasn't a stupid parlay. I mean, it was literally Wallace over Newman, Dillon over Custer, and then I had Hamlin over Logano. I don't think that's that wild at all, but it was plus 700 odds.
I'd say the only one out of all of those that like I would have like held my breath for was Wallace over Newman. And that's coming from this guy right here.
Yeah, but Michael Jordan was there. So there was no way in hell that, Hot Dog Man was like, dude, he fucked up from the jump. Dude, he spun.
He did.
Dude, that dude cannot.
Big
that
wiener
dude's not good. He's too thick for road. Like, you know what I mean? He's in that car.
That is honestly, that's really fair.
Dude, like every other week, he's like, this is all he does.
God, I hope that's how he drives in that posture right there.
And I mean, you got to think about it. When Ryan Newman, for all you listen on the podcast, I hate it for you, because if you're not watching this on YouTube right now, you're missing it. Like literally, this is him every normal week. Okay, this is him at road. Like he can't fuck around. He's too thick, bro. He's a thick boy.
Another thick boy let me down. Michael McDowell.
Yeah, dude. Michael McDowell's a thick boy. And like, dude, we thought that he was going to be great on road. Not that great on road. I mean, he started 25th. He finished 21st. Ricky Stenhouse stayed right around where he was supposed to. So that was cool, I guess. But yeah, I think overall that's really, I mean, like I said, the big movers in this one were Briscoe and Kyle Busch. So that was your huge movers for inside the top 10. So shout out to them. And Penske, just get your shit together quick, or keep just working. Hang it up and get ready for Cindric time. And now, what do you think? What do you think? We're ready? What do you think? NASPIRICIES with Cody FN Powers.
So this one's been a long time coming. There's a boy who used to run in NASCAR back in the day, back in the heyday of NASCAR.
He had to have something to help him run.
He was a competitive driver. I'm going to try to leave as much respect on this man's name as I can in giving the spiel. Very talented driver, comes out a few slower years. He develops a lot. becomes competitive. He beats one of the greatest of all time in a 1-2 finish, a very tightly contested middle finger flip and finish. Moves to a nice vehicle, driving around for Penske. Still competitive. Moves to another vehicle, driving for Mr. Ray Evernham. If you're familiar, everybody, when you think of that 19 car, if you don't see a Dodge Ram horn on the front of the 19 car, you're doing NASCAR all wrong. And then competitive boy accidentally falls into some troubles. I'll let Chase further into that.
He got on fucking meth. He got on meth.
He got on methamphetamine. Sorry, I'm gonna be a journalist here.
Well, too much tooting at break time.
Too much tooting and not enough pooting.
And not out the asshole, in the nose hole.
So Jeremy entirely spirals. He fails a drug test for NASCAR, and then, like a disappointed father, completely just sends Jeremy on his way to figure his shit out. And Jeremy Mayfield has had a life since then, and Chase has all of those facts pulled up, I hope. So I'm gonna throw it over there to you. This isn't just a short biography on Jeremy Mayfield.
No, there's a NASPIRICIE here, and I think, you know what, we discussed beforehand, you know, what the NASPIRICIE may be for the show. Like, obviously, when Jeremy is left out, like, I'm not gonna just sit here and just shit on anybody. People get it. People who have addiction problems, we understand it. But it's, if you can't laugh a little, what good is life? You know,
what are you doing?
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about this. So I think I've uncovered a conspiracy right now in this very moment that we haven't discussed before.
Oh,
so let's take it back to let's take it back to the day that Jeremy Mayfield was suspended indefinitely as both an owner and a driver from NASCAR. May the 9th, 2009, last name Mayfield, the month of May, the 9th of May, there was a 9 in his car number because it was 19. The 9 was Casey Kane, I believe, at the time. 2009, there's another 9 right there.
Carl Edwards.
Cousin Carl? Do you think that maybe now Carl Edwards, that guy right there, that's a smart man. You could look at him.
He's a pilot.
He's got a brain on him. He's a pilot. What if the person that turned him in, what if this date means something more than we know? Obviously, May for Mayfield, the 9 for the 19, there was a number 9 there. A 1 is in front of it. And then the 2009. So yeah, 99, Carl Edwards, he was a pilot. What if he was running Jeremy's meth back and forth for him? Actually, he was getting his meth from home. What if Carl was he's a little more sophisticated, a little cleaner. What if he was running cocaine in his plane? Okay. And then Jeremy was high on meth, and he was like, I don't need your cocaine anymore, Carl. Cocaine Carl. I don't need your cocaine anymore, Carl. I've got meth now. I can make it with Drano from my cabinet. I don't need to spend all this money with you, Cocaine Carl. And Carl got upset. So he waited till May 9th, 2009 for Mayfield to be suspended with the 9-9. So NASPIRICIE, truth or fiction?
We don't know. And you know what the saddest thing I think about that one is? We'll never know. And it would make a lot of sense for Carl to have been running for Mayfield. Carl's from Missouri, a.k.a. the Ozarks. There's a lot of big money on those Ozarks.
Yeah, the Ozarks. You ever watch the show Ozark? It's about money laundering for drugs.
Yeah.
So what if the TV show Ozark is actually loosely based around Jeremy Mayfield?
Well, it could be tightly based too, because Jeremy Mayfield is also apparently a film producer himself.
Wow. So like I definitely don't see a connection between Marty and Jeremy Mayfield, but maybe Jeremy is like Marty's neighbor,
Yeah.
that like you never see or hear from in the whole show, but the
But
whole time,
he's definitely, yeah, he's got his hand in somewhere.
right. He's just living next door the whole time. You never see him in the show, but he's there. And like maybe he sneaks down at night and takes some of their money. And like he's like, maybe he doesn't do meth anymore. Maybe he's like switched to Adderall now because like, it's like the cleaner meth and he can go
It's
to
a
a
lot more
doctor.
socially acceptable too these
Right.
days.
Yeah. People talk about taking Adderall all the time. So it's like maybe he just goes and steals Marty's money and then goes and buys a bunch of Adderall and then he flips it and he's actually selling Adderall next door while the show is taking place where the cartel is like after Marty. So that's possible.
And he never actually did meth. It was always just Adderall the entire time.
Right. Now let's take this back to the early life of Jeremy Mayfield. Let's take this back.
So born in 1971.
He was yeah. Well, what's funny is he's the All-American kid.
Yeah.
He was born in May 27th, 1969. He was born in the summer of 69.
Oh, it was 69. I thought it was 71.
Yeah, he got his first real six string, bought it at the 5 and
So was that song written about Jeremy, you think?
There we go. That's where it all begins. So it's like, we gotta really like dig deep into that. Bryan Adams wrote that song, I believe. So we need to talk to Brian. Brian may actually know Jeremy Mayfield and have wrote that song, the summer of 69, about Jeremy being born in the summer of 69. But what's very interesting about Jeremy Mayfield's early life was that he participated in what we would probably now call Kyle sports, not Larson or Bush, but like crazy Kyles that we know in life that punch drywall and drink Monster energy drinks. He started out racing BMX bicycles in his hometown of Owensboro, Kentucky. Okay. So
good old Southern boy.
That's right. So moved to the Ozarks from Owensboro, Kentucky, racing BMX bicycles. For one, nobody in their right mind was racing BMX bikes in Kentucky at that time. So maybe this addiction could have started way sooner than we thought because, hey, here comes little old Jeremy Mayfield. The dude's just like fucking doing like Supermans and 180s on this bike. And everybody's in the neighborhood like, what the fuck is this guy? And like, he's the guy that invented pegs because he was like, he was like 12 years old and he just found these like rocks on the ground. He didn't know what they were.
I mean, my biggest question is, if you've ever been through Kentucky, then and you're gonna nod with this question. Where are the BMX tracks at in Kentucky?
Yeah, dude. Like, were you using a mountain as a half pipe? Like, what was really going on? You would definitely need to be under the influence of something to be BMXing in Kentucky. So there's definitely like you were either like on the farm or you had your normal all-American racing life.
I didn't know that BMX racing was a thing, though.
Dude, racing BMX bicycles. Shout out to Wikipedia. Could be real, could be fake.
I believe it.
He then proceeded to race go-karts at local short tracks, moving to Nashville Speedway, USA at the age of 19. Makes some more sense. That's usually what race car drivers do. They don't start off on 2 wheels. They start off on 4. Maybe Jeremy was the inspiration for the X Games.
That's possible. And I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all.
I
would like to see somebody, though, who starts on a unicycle.
Right. Living on the edge. You know what I mean? It's all about living on the edge, which is basically what he did towards the end of his career. He was living. He may still be. I hope he's not living on the edge anymore. I hope he's clean. Hope he's went to rehab. Hope everything's good. At the time, living on the edge, he was listening to that song by Aerosmith every day, guaranteed, riding his BMX bicycle. So he won the 93 Mellow Yellow 500. That was his cup. Well, no, that was his cup debut. Did not win it, was in it. Kyle Petty drove the mellow yellow car back in the day.
So that was a Charlotte race.
Yeah. Charlotte race. Kyle Petty drove the mellow yellow car. Mellow yellow was known for Cole Trickle in the movie Days of Thunder, which was kind of a really cool car. And mellow yellow is basically the Coca-Cola of Mountain Dew. So another thing that amps you up. There's a lot of things here that maybe racing itself led him to do meth. He wanted to go fast in the car, wanted to go fast in life.
Wasn't Surge just a mellow yellow with caffeine, like added caffeine?
More caffeine. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, taurine. It had taurine in it.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah. That's where, and see, like, man, that's what happened. He thought he was drinking mellow yellow one day, then he's drinking a Surge. Next thing you know, meth. So
yeah, spirals from there.
it's like, if I can put Sunoco fuel in my car and rocket fuel and it goes real fast, I want to put it in my body too. But you know what I mean?
I mean, I kind of do relate to that. I get that.
He's living on the edge. Big Pocono guy, tricky triangles. Okay. Triangles. They have 3 points, right? What does that have to do with meth? Nothing. He just won there. So that was good for him. He beat Dale Earnhardt. Okay. He beat Dale Earnhardt Sr. in a race.
Yep. Arguably the greatest of all time.
The GOAT. Like, dude, there's not many people under the age of 30 that have beat Dale Earnhardt Sr. I think we know, for one, Jeff Gordon has done it. For two, Davey Allison has done it. Okay. Those guys, respectfully, legends. Okay. You have literally the son of Bobby Allison. You knew he was going to be good. He could beat Dale Sr. Jeff Gordon, Rainbow Warrior, California Kid. He wanted to be Dale Sr. He literally had a mustache at the time and wore gargoyle shades. So
no, it was nowhere near as strong as Senior's mustache, but
and he sounded like a pipsqueak at the time. So, you know, he comes in. I think Gordon kind of sounded like a pipsqueak his whole career. Like, just watching Tony Stewart just like talk that shit to him is just so satisfying.
I think Joey Logano is kind of the modern day Gordon when it comes to like the way they talk.
Very true. It's funny how Kyle Petty compares him to Dale Sr. So it's like, what is it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, which one is it, Kyle?
What's it going to be here? But I will say this, like, for Jeremy Mayfield, that's a name right there that, like, you would not think would be a guy that could beat a man that sounds with a name like Dale Earnhardt Sr., you know, like, that's a strong name. You definitely got to be, not only have a car that's hopped up, but yourself probably has to be hopped up to do that. Like, double speed.
Imagine if it wasn't Jeremy, though. Imagine if he was Rocky Mayfield.
Rocky Mayfield?
Yeah. Like, tell me that has a good ring.
Right, Rocky Mayfield, or like if his name would have been like Marty Mayfield.
Oh, yeah.
Like that. See, it's a NASCAR name.
Yeah.
Like Jeremy Mayfield, it's like, oh, like, were you on the swim team at high school? Like, you played?
Actually, I was racing BMX.
Yeah, he was racing BMX, bro. That's it. Like, he should have been on Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. That's what really should have been.
For sure.
Here. Like, maybe that was his whole goal in life. But going into the life after NASCAR, it's been a lot of downward spirals. Okay. So, you know, it sucks, but it's like, typically when negative things happen, you stay in negative headspace, or you stay on meth, bad things can happen in life. Okay. So he's lost a lot of money. He spent a lot of money in court, for one, but where did Jeremy go as soon as he was suspended from NASCAR? What happened to him? Was he banished to a forest? Did he go to a woods? No, he just had a house, and then he would sick meth dogs on mailmen and women. So it is real deal. Like, literally, this is a real true story right here off of the Wikipedia page. So let's check it out. Looking at some of the things he's done, life after NASCAR, he had to pay like $82,000 in back taxes. That's a pretty good bit of money. It says that he was chilling around North Carolina, never left there. I think his hometown was it Denver, North Carolina, maybe? Probably. I think so.
I'm not sure. It's possible.
I think that's what it's called. Denver, Colorado. Like if he was living there now, it's like, okay, he's made the transition to marijuana. Maybe things are better for him. But we saw him recently at the SRX race talking to Tony. So it's like he's probably like, hey Tony, I won't do any more meth. Can I race a car? And I hope to see it. I really do. I hope to see Jeremy Mayfield get back behind a car. He should have it because he claims he was taking Adderall. But I think there's a big difference between methamphetamine and what is Adderall? What is it called?
It's an amphetamine.
Amphetamine.
Amphetamine. Yep.
Yeah,
That's
big
it.
difference. The big difference is the M in the front of it for meth. Also M, first letter of his last name, Mayfield. See, we're getting deep here.
It ties back in. I guess my biggest question is if you're in a professional sport position and you are taking something that is considered mind altering, like, are you doing it recreationally? Or, I mean, if he had a prescription for it, like where was NASCAR at, legally speaking, like, could they have kicked him out,
Yeah, like I didn't even know that Adderall existed until like the 2000s, like late 2000s, but I guess it did. I thought that was like Ritalin was like the big one.
I guess that's when it like hit like for our ages, right? Because I guess that was always for older people.
Maybe
right? Like
so.
they doped us up on Ritalin as kids.
Like, hey man, come hang out after race. Got some meth. Like,
right?
Like there's towns. I've heard of towns. Won't say which town, but I've heard there's some towns where people just treat meth like a cigarette. They're like, hey, you got some meth in your pocket?
I'll call it out right now. It's Hawkins County, East Tennessee. We could say Churchill. We could say Rogersville. We could say Burnsville or Mount Carmel. I'll say it. I live in Meth County, baby. That's what we do.
It's like, where do you live? I live in meth. Like, just like
fun fact. Yeah, my area. We are the founders of Gravel, which is ironically synthetic meth.
How the fuck do you make synthetic meth? It's already synthetic.
You just don't use as much battery acid.
What the fuck? What are these meth heads doing, dude?
Well, it makes it a little bit more legal. Like that puts it in a gray area. Right?
Oh my God, bro. Like, dude, I literally just found out, like, and it makes it even like, it makes it kind of like sad. Like, we've been spending this whole time, we're trying to like figure this out with Jeremy, but it's just like, it's just the most unique story in NASCAR. I feel like it doesn't get talked about, but it's like, I didn't even realize that people that did meth, like, it makes a lot more sense now because you can really pick out a person that's probably on meth. Mm-hmm. Like, someone that does cocaine could look just like me and you. Okay. Someone that does meth, they're bony as shit. They scratch a lot, and they're probably like on the side of the road walking somewhere. But one thing that I always noticed that these people would do is they were constantly pick at their fucking scabs. Mm-hmm. And like, until I met you and you were like explaining to me, because like this problem with meth around you and like these towns in Tennessee, they eat these fucking scabs to get high.
Yeah, and it's a hot ticket item in prisons.
Like there are people that are like selling scabs like acid tabs in prison.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
To get real hopped up behind the bar.
Fun fact, once your blood is dried, you can't pass some diseases. HIV, for example, it does not survive in dried blood.
I don't want any AIDS on this meth. Like that's like
so let the scab dry.
What the fuck, bro?
Let the scab dry and you're fine.
The human body is nuts, dude.
It's insane. Like, it genuinely is incredible. And I mean, I guess I sound cold and cruel hearted, kind of laughing right now, but I live in an area that's heavily affected by it. And to me, like, it's insane. You don't realize how casual meth is, because when you hear meth, you're like, oh God, right? Like, that's like, oh God.
Yeah, that's like one of those drugs. So it's casual. Like, it's always just sounded terrible.
Terrible,
like,
right?
Something that, like, I mean, you know, I've had my days of experimenting. Don't get me wrong, but that is one drug that I've never done, and I never plan on doing in my life.
Apparently, meth, it only takes one time.
Dude,
and then
I've
just
seen
fully
people
addicted.
I know people that have gotten hooked on that, and dude, just watching their life spiral down.
Yeah, and you see it from like day one, and there's nothing you can ever do or say. But it's so casual here, man. Like, it is genuinely Like, it is a conversation piece in this part of Tennessee. It genuinely is.
Let me tell you about this myth I got.
Yeah.
All right, look, you're gonna say, hold on, look, we're gonna get close to wrapping this up, but I did find some supporting evidence about that could connect Carl Edwards, aka Cocaine Carl, could connect this to make the May 9th, 2009, the day that he was suspended, the 9/9 in 2009 and 9. This could link it. Okay. So I'm looking right now through the controversies. Obviously, I never followed up on the dog one. Supposedly he was sued for $1 million for sicking dogs on a fucking male person, a male lady trying to deliver a package.
Now, is that strictly because of his name? Like, let's say your dog attacks a male person. Are they coming at you for $1 million?
Well, look, I will say this much. I definitely could see this male person. This male person was probably on meth. They drove through the entrance gate past a beware of dogs sign to deliver a package too large for the roadside mailbox. She received, so she kind of asked for that. She kind of asked for that one. So it is kind of fucked up that she sued him and had the dogs euthanized on May 10th, 2012. And he had to pay $1 million of the dog attacks. After
Man, that 2-day stretch for Jeremy is rough.
But this is what was bad. He had to pay $1 million because he failed to respond to the lawsuit, probably because he was high on meth. Then again, he would probably be up for like 3 straight days. So he probably just was like, well, I don't know what this is.
Yeah, he's like, I have court tomorrow, and then he never goes to sleep.
I can't go
for
to
3 days.
Yeah. I'll just do some more math. But look, check this out. Supporting evidence to Cocaine Carl. All right, so this kind of ties him in, and it's funny because I just saw his name. So this goes back to the substance abuse violation, the May 9th, 2009. Dr. Black disputed Mayfield's claims, stating, "What we have is a clear violation of policy. In my many years of experience, I have never seen a violation like this due to the combination of over 3 counter of prescription products." Basically, that's him arguing the fact that it was Adderall or whatever. So a week after his suspension, Mayfield publicly stated that he had only taken 2 tablets of Claritin D and the prescription drug Adderall, which he stated was prescribed to assist his attention deficit disorder, and that he had never used any sort of illegal drug. His wife, family, friends, fans, crew chief, and other team members' drugstore receipts and signed prescription from his care provider backed these claims.
I already know where you're headed with that.
Okay. Afterwards, criticism of NASCAR's testing policy became rampant. Several suggested that NASCAR's secrecy over Mayfield's results was politically motivated so as not to smear the reputation of Claritin, who was a sponsor of Carl Edwards and NASCAR at the time.
They were a big, heavy sponsor in the sport in that time.
I remember when Claritin was a big sponsor.
I still take Claritin. So the smearing, like NASCAR preventing the smearing, definitely helped persuade me into my allergy medication of choice. So it worked.
Going back here, like, wow, like that right there makes you wonder, did Claritin frame Jeremy Mayfield?
I am so incredibly glad. And if you are still listening to us at this point, we actually just made a true, genuine discovery. Claritin, I honestly, that's a big money corporation.
Claritin was like, don't fuck with Cocaine Carl and us talking about how you did meth and now you're saying you did Claritin and Adderall. So it's like Claritin and Adderall make
chemically
meth?
Mixing together.
It says June 9th, 2009, ESPN stated that during the random drug screening on May 1st at Richmond International Raceway, Mayfield tested positive for methamphetamine. A doctor from Florida stated that it was impossible for Mayfield to use the levels of methamphetamine NASCAR claimed he did, or else he would be dead or a chronic user. According to another medical professional in Central Florida, the combination of medications cited by Mayfield has a 15% chance of a false positive being obtained. So see, as a person that has not done the extensive research on Jeremy Mayfield, when you hear his name, you automatically, and this whole time, if you've already turned this off, you're already like, man, Chase is cracking all these jokes. It's like, we're discovering shit still. This is NASPIRICIES. You listen to this all the way through. I honestly now am on the side of wondering, what did Jeremy Mayfield really do?
Well, I'll come back with a punch. Lisa Mayfield, his deceased father's widow, stated that she had seen him use methamphetamines many times since 1998. He refuted those allegations, and he said she wasn't his mom, blah, 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 blah. She claimed to be his mother, but he was like, well, she's not my mom because she couldn't adopt me after I was an adult, which is a little like, that was trying to like spin the story down a different path, obviously. But she also later trespassed on his property and assaulted people who she found on his property. And she was also arrested after claiming that she had saw him do meth. So she said, hey, I saw that boy do meth. I'm going to go break into his house and beat up whoever it is I find laying on his couch.
Wow.
So, I mean, this dude, like, it's a wild, wild story.
And looking at this, it's like, NASCAR tried to be like, oh no, he can race. He's got to do the road to recovery treatment program. And he's got to submit a drug test or whatever. It says on January 8th, 2013, episode of the MRN radio show, NASCAR Live hosted by Eli Gold. Brian France alluded to the other options and the addition of the documented road to recovery plan that had previously been discussed outside of public knowledge when Mayfield reached him. These options were not clarified publicly. On the show, France continued with statements that Mayfield must follow examples of other reinstated drivers that as of June 28, 2016, are not participant in NASCAR. Mayfield is adamant about his innocence from NASCAR's charges. In an interview with Sporting News in 2014, Mayfield said he is willing to take a drug test as long as I can pee in a cup for LabCorp or some other credible lab. Okay, so I will say, him singling out peeing in a cup, don't think, Jeremy, that we don't all know about UPass, okay? There are fake peas out there in the world. There's a dude, literally, you can buy almost anything to cover up drug use for detoxing kits.
Well, and here's another interesting tidbit. A few months after the ordeal in 2009, NASCAR said that he had tested positive once again, and this was in July. So this was what, 4 months after all of that stuff. So he fails it once again, and then he again blamed Claritin and Adderall, which I feel like I just wouldn't take that mixture anymore myself.
Yeah, he kept taking it,
right?
know?
But
very strange.
He did go 40 minutes after the test with NASCAR and paid for his own drug test with a credible lab, and he was negative in that test.
But in 2011, at his home in Catawba, based on an informant's statement, he was arrested. They were staging burglaries to support Mayfield's methamphetamine habit. He was taken into custody after deputies claimed to find 1.5 grams of meth residue on a plastic bag in a gun safe. Authorities later found $100,000 worth of stolen goods on a little used area of Mayfield's property. Among the recovered items were heavy machinery that had been reported stolen from 2 businesses in neighboring Lincoln County in late 2010 and early 2011, as well as audiovisual equipment that was later reported stolen from the then defunct Red Bull racing team in nearby Mooresville in February 2011. So it looks like there was a huge turn of events. Don't see anything about him taking Claritin and Adderall at that time. Mayfield himself, now we're back where we started. He was on meth. He was on meth. Or did the trouble that NASCAR put him through drive him to take meth for real?
So I'm a really big guy on this one philosophy. If I'm going to be blamed and accused of something, I'm going to do it, right? Like if someone's like, "Hey, you're an asshole," I'm going to be an asshole, right?
To
if
that,
you're going to call
that
me
person.
Right.
To that person? Or
right. Yeah. No, I'm not going to just like turn around, like punch a baby in the face.
See, that's what, but see, metaphorically, that's what Jeremy did. He became a meth head to the world.
He did. But also maybe it was, out of spite to NASCAR. Like maybe he's like really
you want to see you want to see me on meth? Like
I'll show you.
Yeah, but then he actually showed himself to the jail cell. So it didn't really work out. And
he showed himself there quick.
And you don't hear a lot from Uncle Carl anymore these days. You know, he's kind of quiet.
He's going political. Rumor has it old cousin Carl's going to be running for senator of Missouri.
He's got to keep Jeremy under wraps.
He's got, so all I'm saying is, Jeremy, watch your back.
You want to know something else that's like really interesting about Jeremy Mayfield? He was in the music video for the band Saving Abel. Drowning.
I'm so addicted to.
Dude, isn't that fucking funny, Connor?
I know so I did know he was in Alan Jackson's. That's iconic for NASCAR.
Who's cheating who?
Yeah.
Who is cheating who? Are you on meth or are you not?
Yeah, Jeremy. Who's cheating who? Are you cheating
here?
NASCAR or is NASCAR cheating you?
In 2004, he was on Family Feud. It's like, what were they fighting about? Who gets to buy the meth tonight? But now we're back to meth jokes.
Well, the interesting thing though is we have a new player. He competed against Kevin Harvick in that episode of Family Feud.
He did. I don't think Kevin probably knew anything that was going on at the time.
Harvick was still a young gun at that point.
Yeah, he was like, who the fuck's this meth head over here?
Yeah. Harvick was trying to kiss hands and shake babies.
So, in conclusion, Jeremy Mayfield drove an amazing race car for Team Penske. I'll never forget the Mobil 1 Pegasus. Was he rightfully suspended? In conclusion, my thoughts, probably so. He was probably on meth the whole time. I think he's probably on meth the whole time.
Yeah. So I guess you're an in conclusion kind of guy. Is that how you ended your essays back in the school days?
Not really. I was usually just like, with that being said, I was kind of.
I am a really big with that being said guy.
With that being said guy.
Yeah. Or to summarize.
Yeah.
To summarize this episode. Yeah. In conclusion, with all of this being said, correct. That's to summarize. The hypotheses presented today has been flagged true. I believe that Jeremy Mayfield probably did dabble a little bit in the meths. And I mean,
turns out it was a lot in the meth, actually.
Yeah. I mean, maybe early on it wasn't a lot, but by the end of the Jeremy Mayfield saga, it was a lot. Overall, it's sad. NASCAR definitely, I feel like, given that the tests were accurate, which I think his mistakes later on in his life have proven that they probably were accurate test results.
Yeah, and it's funny that he did blame Claritin, probably because he was mad at Carl. Like, Carl did something to him. Carl had to do something to him.
Or what if he had been like promised that Claritin deal?
Yeah, maybe
like
so.
It was a gentleman's agreement.
It's like I'm just really curious to know like where the fuck he thought that, like, or who told him that, oh yeah, just tell him that you were taking Claritin and Adderall. Like, who told him that? Because that's like the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
You need that guy out of your corner quick.
Yeah, dude, you need to banish him. Like, that guy needs to go back to the forest that he came from. And
that's not the PR guy you need in that moment.
I can guarantee, like, whoever was selling him meth is probably the one that told him to say that.
Well, what if his PR guy was his meth dealer?
What if who was his meth dealer?
His PR guy. And he's like, yeah, man, trust me, I studied this.
How
Just
the
tell him it's
fuck do you,
Claritin.
like, I've never, like, how, I'm trying to think, like, I just don't understand, like, how somebody just like, oh yeah, like, I just really could genuinely see somebody just being fucked up on some drugs and just like walking somewhere and they just see a box of Claritin. That's it.
Now, I do have a really fair point, though, like a really fair example that can justify this a little bit.
Okay.
You a big bagel guy?
I've ate some bagels here and there.
You ever done an everything bagel?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, so it's a bagel and it's got a bunch of like different just like seasoning, spices, like herbs on it.
I love like the salt and pepper on the bagel. Or the
Oh,
bagels.
then you would love an everything bagel, but after you eat that everything bagel, don't take a drug test because that poppy seed can make you pop for opioids.
Very true. Poppy seed will hit you that. And I've also heard people say that like when they piss, like I've heard it my whole life, like back in the day, especially like when, we were smoking a lot of weed heavily, like when you're in high school and shit. They're like, oh, if you fail a drug test, just tell them you ate a poppy seed cake. Like I've heard that millions of times.
I don't think that now it depends on like how they're like screening it. Because they're gonna be like, yeah, I mean, you can eat all the poppy seeds you want, they're like, but you still have a lot of THC in your system, buddy.
Right. Maybe that just says a lot about where I grew up, like where the brains were of the area that I grew up in. Because like there's
like,
so many
mama
things.
failed her drug test and she just told him it was from the Starbucks.
Yeah, somebody literally, I've been told that by like 7 people in my life.
Really,
Like,
I've never heard it for the cannabises. I've always heard it though for opioids.
yeah, dude, it's honestly scary. Like some of the things that like I grew up believing to be true and not learning until I was like in my late teens, early 20s. Like it's really fucking scary. Like, dude.
Oh, it's insane. Yeah. And then like you almost like grow resentment towards the people that were telling you this, but then you have to be like, well, did they know? Like, were they just trying to share their knowledge?
It's like, what were our parents doing around here? Like at that time, like everybody was just real hopped up. Like Cocaine Carl was flying in hot. You know what I mean? In the
he's just he wasn't even landing. He was just dropping it from the sky.
Dude, I guarantee you, like it's like what if I went back and looked at my old family pictures, like where we like went to like hang out with these random people I had no idea, like in single wide trailers, and like Jeremy Mayfield's just there, like that.
Like in the pic, you see Carl in a trench coat just standing in the back.
Somebody listens to this and they'll be like, "That's your uncle, Chase. Damn it!" Like I'm like, whoa, fucking what? Like I could
Uncle Jay. He's wanting to rekindle it.
Yeah, I don't think we have any meth heads in our family. I'd have to really go down the lineage line. But
yeah, I think me too.
Good, and that's impressive for especially your area.
It is, yeah. Now I know a lot, but I'm not no blood.
It's like you walk down to the store and like there's like 8 Jeremy Mayfields.
Yeah, you pass 17 of them on the way to the store.
Right, but not today's Jeremy Mayfield. He's at SRX races. He's probably actually on Adderall now.
Here's the thing, though. He's not racing in them, though.
No, he was just there.
Right. And that's kind of like, I don't ever see that coming to fruition just because of the whole like Ray Evernham issue. It's almost like, have you ever broken up with somebody and like she's a volleyball player and you went and watched her play volleyball one last time?
Yeah, like that's kind of what. There's like pictures of him down there like talking to like Tony and Ray and all that. So it's like it is funny, but it's like it definitely is a liability. It's kind of like the deal with like Bam Margera and Jackass right now. Like he's suing Jackass.
That's insane. And it's sad. It breaks my heart.
Like I think like there's obviously there's definitely like things I could like joke about, but like I guess maybe because like I didn't grow up like as a deep Jeremy Mayfield. Like I didn't really understand what happened to Jeremy Mayfield growing up as a kid, but like I'm old enough to understand what's happening. Like Bam, like I'm old enough to understand what happened to Jeremy now. And it's like now that we're kind of done off the conspiracy thing, it's like just know it sucks. But I mean, I can say that there's been some shit I've seen Bam Margera do lately that's just like, dude, you're fucking yourself, man. And it's kind of laughable. But like there's this really hard depression behind like why, and maybe if like there's like a depression behind why Jeremy Mayfield is doing what he did, like it just, to me, he's just a guy that was like, I'm gonna do some meth today. Like for Bam, it's like I know a lot of things like that triggered those downward spirals. Like, and so it's like watching it's sad as fuck.
Well,
dude.
yeah, I mean, I think me and you probably grew up with Bam a whole lot more than we grew up with Jeremy.
2005, man, or no, 2003 was when, I grew up of NASCAR forever, like going to Talladega. I still went to Talladega every year of my life, but
Right.
I got to a point to where skateboarding became more important, and I watched a lot more Jackass and a lot more Viva La Bam. And so, yeah, I was attached to those guys growing up. So, like, seeing Bam now, but it's like, he really is, though. Like, Bam's a liability. Like, he couldn't, I mean, and they're right to do what they did.
Right. I mean, they have to. It worked with Steve-O, but that same approach is not going to work with Bam, clearly.
No.
I mean, look at Steve-O. Like, those guys genuinely saved
Fucking
Steve-O's life,
thriving,
man.
Like,
fantastic.
That's
He's
what
like
friends
vegan
do.
now, like super health conscious. Like Steve-O is such a great redemption story.
That dude was just popping ketamine like fucking Tylenol, bro.
Yeah, and like the pictures of like all the whippets around him, and like
it's crazy, man.
It's insane. But
did not expect us to go into like the serious shit, but it's like, damn, like if anybody ever wondered like what tugged at the heartstrings, it's Jackass and Bam Margera. Like,
well, yeah, that's just a product of like our age.
Yeah, dude, it's rough, man. But on a lighter note, that was our longest NASPIRICIES.
That one was real long.
Dude, we dug deep. I feel like I personally know Jeremy Mayfield now.
At any point now, I'm going to be able to argue for or against Jeremy better than anybody I know, other than you now. We're on the same level of knowledge now.
I can definitely make an argument for why he was on meth and why he wasn't on meth now. And I think it's going to be way more fun to be on the side of why he wasn't on meth, just to get to talk about call Carl Edwards Cocaine Carl and talk about Claritin.
That's the side I would rather be on, I think.
So I think it's like, do we think he was on meth? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Will we fight for him not being on meth just to say Carl Edwards was Cocaine Carl and had a plane and they framed him because of Claritin? You're
absolutely.
Damn right. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, this has been a show. It's been a long one. It's been a fun one. Cody FN Powers, man.
Hey, thanks for having me back on.
Dude, I will. You're here. You're a part of this family. You already know this.
Hold up, wait.
Everybody's.
I don't know if you can see. You've got a little logo right there, up on my.
Is that what I think it is?
It is. That's the scrapbook. That's the scrapbook. Dude. Shout out, Mama Cody.
Dude,
Summer.
You should Insta story it. I think that thing is incredible, man. Like,
it is.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, I'll show you it sometime.
See, that's scrapbook number 1. Scrapbook number 2, TBD.
TBDA.
To be determined.
And
again?
Yes.
All right, just like this show.
Winging it now.
Determined if we're gonna have another one. Yeah, we're gonna have another show. We'll have another show.
Good decision. Good decision.
Hey, Cody, love you, man. Garage. What?
I was gonna say I love you too.
Love you too, bro. Hey, Garage Fam, we love you. And again, you know where to follow me at Garage Guy Chase. You follow Cody at yours isn't your name. It's cool.
Oh, bro, no, yeah, it is Natter Day Delight.
Natter Day Delight, some afternoon delight.
I should have thought that one out a little bit better, because that is not marketable at all, because I will get sued.
Who cares? But you were going for the Natural Light sponsorship at the time.
I was big time.
I think we've all been there at one point.
Bud Light congratulated me on graduating. So
that's pretty cool. That's Anheuser. They own Natural Light.
I know. It's all the same.
Same guy. All right. So we love it. You guys know where to find us. We're going to be in Indy this weekend. Be on the lookout for the Verizon 200 Indy Road Course Race preview show. We'll have that out this week. We'll be, like I said, I'm in the car. I'm going to Indy. If you're listening on Wednesday, August 11th, if you're listening any other day, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm somewhere. Just hit me up on Twitter. You'll figure it out. Hit up Cody and ask him to show you everything that's on his display back there.
Yeah, I can do that. One video at a time per item.
That's how we do it. All right, so we're out. We gotta get out of here. We spent way too much time on Eric Amarola. Sports.
Shout out Bacon Boy.
That's it. Racing. Let race begin. Sports. Profit. Repeat. NASCAR. Garage Guys.
It's the Garage Guys. It's the Garage Guys. It's the Garage Guys. It's the Garage Guys. It's the Garage Guys. It's the Garage Guys. It's the Garage Guys. It's the Garage Guys. It's the Garage Guys. It's the Garage Guys. It's the Garage Guys. It's the Garage Guys. It's the Garage Guys. It's the Garage Guys. It's the Garage Guys. It's the Garage Guys. It's the Garage Guys. It's the Garage Guys.